Marvel just surprised us and released the brand new Avengers Endgame clip. And unlike last week's TV spots, the new special look clip contains plenty of new footage. If you're on top of your Avengers or news, then you'll instantly recognize some of the scenes. That's because Disney showed a part of this clip behind closed doors during a shareholders event that preceded the Captain Marvel launch. However, the clip also contains a few unexpected gems, the kind of scenes that I wouldn't have thought we would see in an Endgame trailer. However, we should remember that Marvel misleads fans intentionally with the help of scenes that are either altered or that might not even make it in the final cut. And the new mini-trailer is probably just as misleading. In what follows, we've unpacked the clip scene by scene. Remember, however, that the only way to avoid spoilers is not to watch the new footage at all. The clip opens with a dialogue between the remaining Avengers, with Bruce Banner, Natasha, and Rhodey talking about the chances of doing this short-handed. This is likely the scene that Marvel showed to a select number of people, the one teasing an Avengers surprise attack on Thanos' new planet. Thanos may have killed all our friends, but the remaining Avengers owe it to everyone not in this room to try. Hairstyles will be important throughout the clip, so let's check out Natasha's mostly red hair in this shot. The voiceover switches to Tony Stark, as we see Rocket and Nebula sitting side by side and holding hands. This sure looks like a touching moment where Rocket might find out what had happened over on Titan. Speaking of touching moments, here is Tony Stark hugging Pepper Potts. Are they meeting for the first time after Infinity War, or is this Tony leaving on a new mission? The Avengers HQ keeps coming up in these clips, and it's obviously the place where they will assemble. Thanos is also rumored to attack the compound. Cut to a scene of Iron Man hovering over what might be New York. But he's wearing a new suit. Hawkeye and his faux hawk is also present for one of the meetings, but probably not the one from the beginning of the movie. Cut to Natasha, who's smiling for some reason. She has long red and blonde hair in this scene, and we've seen an earlier moment from this scene in the previous trailer. We then get another look at Thor summoning his brand new hammer, which was his past an unimpressed Captain Marvel. "We're the Avengers, we got to finish this," Stark says, as the camera shows us all the surviving members of the team. From left to right we have Hawkeye, War Machine, Iron Man, Captain America, Nebula, Rocket, Ant-Man, and red-haired Black Widow. This likely isn't the meeting early in the movie, the one shown at the shareholders meeting where they decide to go after Thanos. Do you notice who isn't in here? Bruce Banner. This leads to what appears to be the most anticipated scene of the Infinity War Endgame movies, the moment when Tony and Steve reunite. But I bet this actually isn't that moment. Look at how gray Tony's hair is. The more likely scenario is that old Stark has jumped back in time to the New York battle where he meets the 2012 Captain America. That's because of the strange exchange between the two. Stark asks Rogers, "You trust me?" And Cap answers that he does. Did Tony just tell him he arrived from the future to the Battle of New York? Because last time we checked, it was Stark who didn't trust Captain America after discovering in Civil War that Rogers knew Bucky had killed his parents. Now we're back to the Venator in space, with the ship getting ready to jump to a different galaxy. In it, we have Captain Marvel, blonde Black Widow, War Machine, Thor, Captain America, and Rocket. This scene takes place after they all discuss attacking Thanos, and it's a scene that was also featured in a montage shown at Disney's shareholders meeting. Nebula isn't in the cockpit in this shot, though. We're again reminded of the hero's losses, with Stark looking at a photo of him and Peter Parker taken while Spider-Man was interning for Stark Industries. And doesn't Tony's hair look darker in this one? We're back to space, just as Thanos speaks for the first time in any Endgame promos. This is his ship that we're all too familiar with, and he's apparently on approach to Xandar, the planet he decimated off-screen before Infinity War started. "You could not live with your own failure," Thanos says. "Where did that bring you?" "Back to me." This sure sounds like something Thanos would say to Tony at some point during the movie. As Thanos speaks, we get to see this scene, featuring Nebula and War Machine, and Rocket crying, "Captain America is down," fighting in what appears to be the same fight from the second Endgame trailer. Here's Thanos teleporting himself to a planet. Is it Xandar? Is it Earth? He seems to be rocking the weapon in his left hand earlier in the scene, so this might be Xandar. Iron Man seems to be involved in the same devastating battle from the second trailer, given the background. Tony looks like he's wearing the same suit as before. Is this the attack on the Avengers HQ? We then see Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. It can't be Doctor Strange, can it? Walking towards what appears to be a defeated or kneeling Thanos. We also get a glimpse at the Titan's sword. It's unclear if he also has the Infinity Gauntlet on his left hand.